All right, we'll call to order this meeting in the Nettle Creek School Board. We'll show all present. We're in compliance with the open meeting law.
Yes.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence.
To the flag of the United States
of America.
and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, first we have approval and or correction of the meeting minutes from the regular board meeting from April 8th, 2026. Session minutes from work session minutes from April 27th, 2026. Work session minutes from April 28th, 2026, and work session minutes from May 6th. Have a motion?
So moved.
Julie? Mike? Any corrections? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Move to public comment. I've got one signed up, Dan Davis.
Thank you. Sorry for my attire, but this is how I dress. I'd like to begin by thanking our state legislature for the numerous calls and questions I've received over the past month or so from people who still think I'm on school board. I was actually told by a guy this morning that he thought I'd been grandfathered in and had a lifetime seat on the board, which I'm certainly glad that I do not. And also, for the first time, I've got to welcome to the two new members. I know this may not at this moment be exactly what you envisioned, but I'm glad you're sitting there making these difficult decisions. Came here tonight in hopes of offering something that I think too rarely occurs in your world. And that is to say thank you. What you're doing is not easy. And in fact, when you care as much as we all do about our community, our schools, our students, and our staff, these moments are often painful. So I wish to simply say thank you to each of you for being willing to endure this hardship. I also wish to recognize and thank our superintendent, Mrs. Schaefer, for the countless hours and sleepless nights I'm sure she experiences when the school system is placed under these difficult circumstances. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say that Emily Schaefer is the best hire our school has made in the last 50 years. And I encourage our board and community to continue allowing her to lead the way. I will finish up here by stating for the past 20 years, maybe even longer, I've been fighting and sharing that our public schools are under attack. What we are experiencing is intentional, planned, and detrimental to every small community in our state. Now more than ever, I encourage not just our board and our staff, but our entire community to stand up to your representatives and make sure they know that we do not support the defunding of our public schools. We do not support consolidation, and we do not support the funneling of taxpayer dollars to private religious schools. We have so much more power than we realize, but it is going to take all of us collectively to reverse this course. I suggest starting right here at home by letting our local representatives, who are heavily connected to those in Indianapolis, that we will not continue to support them unless they begin defending our schools at the state level. I'll end by sharing a comment made during a difficult time in our past when Dr. Greg Hellworth said, it's ironic that school boards are considered the lowest level of local government, when actually they should be recognized as the most important. So I wish all of you in our community the very best as we get through this moment. So thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else wish to address the board? Not, we will move on. Next, we have financial items presented for board consideration and action. First being consideration and approval of claims and payroll. Payroll totaling $620,269.24. Claims totaling $720,562.80. HES TCA totaling $1,217.69. And junior senior high school ECA totaling $30,218.54. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ruthie? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next, we'll move to review of monthly financial statements. Mrs. Schaefer.
First up is the financial snapshot. You can see we are 4 months in. That beginning January 1, 2026 balance is in blue on the left side, and balance after 4 months of expenditures and revenue on the right side in blue. Want to point out that operations is typically in the negative at this point in the year because we get our tax draw in June, which will then bump it back into the positive, and our second tax draw in December. Cash flow was in your board packet for education, operation, debt, rainy day, preschool, and our lunch fund. Our investment report with our current balances of each of the accounts, and then each of the CDs. And a total of the grants. Any follow-up questions? I would be happy to answer those.
Just on the grants, when do they drop off and go away? And from prior years, I guess.
That Title I grant, is that what you're referring to? And the Title II 2024. So the Title I grant, that probably should already be dropped off. Can you make me a note on that one, please? And the Title II 2024, there has been some issues with the new grant system and submitting those reimbursements. So that one was actually extended to the 9/30/2026. And so as soon as we get some of those kinks worked out, submit those final reimbursements, then that will come off as well.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll move to school news.
All right, we'll start with junior, senior high school. Mr. McCaslin, you're up.
A lot of things going on as we finish up the school year. First off, Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce passed out a few gifts. So we had some students as part of Everyday Counts that were awarded, attendance things for if they missed less than 3 days of school, they were kind of put into a drawing. We had a senior Kate Nervin that was put into the drawing and was runner up for a new car, but he did win a check for $2,500. For our junior class, for our 9th grade through juniors, they were put into a drawing, and we had a junior Ben Smith who won Cincinnati Red tickets. And we had for our 7th and 8th graders, they were putting into the drawing for an electric scooter, and Hezekiah Ballinger won an electric scooter. So that was very nice of them, and an awesome job to those kids. Mary Randall, an English teacher, was spotlighted in an article shared by the National Institute for Excellence in Teaching. and a great follow-up article in the Palladium item. She continues to do great work with her classes. I'm excited to see her get some acknowledgement there. The FFA banquet awards took place in April. It was a great night. Dr. Hurd did a great job. Great group of seniors that are leading the way, and a lot of celebrating the outgoing members, on the officers, and the incoming. So that was a very fun night for all of us. We hosted our 6th grade orientation. 6th grade students got to come over, tour the building, ask some staff members some questions, some very interesting questions. Met some of their teachers, learned our lunch protocol. I think their favorite part was the student panel that we had, so they could ask students about junior and senior high life, and had some insight into that. And my favorite question, I think, that was asked from a 6th grader is, what happens if someone throws up on and at that moment, I didn't have that answer, so I'll have to work on that this summer. We had our National Honor Society induction. We welcomed 18 new members to the group through a pretty tough selection process. We had students compete in the Wayne County Art Show. Maya Kirby took first place in sculpture. Megan Lambert took home a first place in fine arts, and Taylor Patterson took home a 2nd place in painting. Hagerstown High School Band was awarded gold in their competition in sight reading at Newcastle, and they continue great work. A little bit in athletics. Our Tiger baseball team continues to have a strong season. They had the opportunity to travel to Dayton, Ohio, to play Centerville Elks team in the field of the Dayton Dragons. Kids had a lot of fun. Not the outcome we wanted, but they did have a lot of fun. Our boys golf team won the Wayne County tournament and have posted some of the best overall scores they've had in school history. Softball is currently highly ranked in the state. Looking forward to their postseason success. Our girls tennis team is putting together a great season and won the TEC conference title for the first time in school history. We're an awesome job there. This past weekend, past Friday, our Tiger Boosters hosted their annual track and field competition. Our girls team took home first place. And then with the combined score, the girls and boys took home the overall crown. So a lot of good things going on as we finish up the school year, and looking forward to the end of it.
Yeah, one more for you to share, Mr. McCaslin.
Gavin Chu also signed to swim and continue his academics at Anderson University.
Thank you. Mrs. Locke, you're up.
Obviously, if you look at my face, you can tell what today was. Today was field day. Had a lot of parent comments about what an excellent job the organization of the whole field day was. So kudos to Mrs. Klein for that. This week, our 2nd and 3rd graders took the 2nd round of I read. We are at 50% of our 2nd graders passing, 93% of the 3rd graders passed. If you include the 4th grade in that, it's 86%. We're moving in the right direction. May 5th, we have the 3rd grade, 3rd grade going to the Children's Museum, and the 4th grade is going to Conner Prairie. May 18th, we've got the 6th grade going to Indy Motor Speedway. Have kindergartners who are graduating on Wednesday, the 20th, and the 21st will be 6th grade graduation at 10 a.m. And then the last day of school, we'll have the seniors come in at 9 o'clock to do their senior walk here at the elementary.
Great, thank you. Mrs. Tinkle, you're up. Yes.
First, before we get into this, just preschool updates. We are very excited about our fall preschool pre-enrollment.
One
Just a second.
second,
Do you have a mic?
Mrs.
Do you
Tinkle.
have a mic over there?
Our fall preschool pre-enrollment, currently we have 66 students enrolled at Nettle Creek Discovery for the 26-27 school year. Our 3-year-old class, we are only having one next year because we had a lot of 4-year-olds pre-enroll. But our 3-year-old class is full, and we now have a wait list for our 3s, and we only have 5 spots remaining in our 4-year-old pre-K cohorts, and we're having 3 sections of 4s. So that is very exciting. To not even be at the end of the school year and to almost be full already is fantastic. So, and we also currently have 9 developmental students who are pre-enrolled. So this speaks very highly of our preschool teachers and our staff. They're amazing, and they provide just an outstanding program for our littlest learners. So on to our state assessments. It has been state testing season. So what you see here are our current proficiency rates. I read 3. Spring I read 3 was given at the beginning of March, which we went over during the March board meeting. This assessment measures foundational reading skills in phonics, vocabulary, and comprehension. 84% of our third graders passed after the spring assessment. And so after the spring assessment for the past 8 weeks, students who did not pass have had very intensive instructional small group intervention during the school day with the third grade teachers, with our reading interventionist and instructional assistants. And they also attended, and 10 out of the 11 third graders attended an after-school tutoring session twice a week through Every Child Can Read with our own Miss Johnson and Mrs. Hostetler. And I read 3 second opportunity called the summer window just opened up this week. So Mrs. Locke touched on this. Of our 11 third graders who did not pass the spring I read 3, they retook the test these last few days, and 6 of them have now passed, showing proficiency in foundational reading skills. So we are very proud of them and all of our teachers who have put in a lot of hard work these last 8 weeks. We are now at a 93% passing rate in third grade. Our 5 third graders who did not pass, and currently 4 fourth graders who have not passed. We still have 1 more fourth grader that needs to test. They will be offered summer school with 1 more opportunity to show proficiency. So at the end of the 2-week summer school session, they'll have a second opportunity for the summer window. All second graders were required this year by the state to take the I Read 3 assessment in March as well. We had 49% of our second graders that passed. We are currently not finished with our second graders testing yet for this second opportunity. Second graders only have 1 opportunity to retest during the summer window if they did not pass in the spring. So summer school was offered to those second graders who did not pass, and the families who opted out of summer school, we are now retesting those second graders as their second opportunity. We have 9 second graders who are going to be a part of our summer school program. So they will wait and take their test at the end of the summer school 2-week session for their second opportunity. Moving on to I Learn for grades 3 through 8. All students in grades 3 through 8 have now completed the I Learn summative assessments in math, English language arts, social studies for grade 5, and science for grades 4 and 6. I Learn this year is very different. I Learn ELA, math, and social studies results will be delayed due to a new standard setting, is what the state calls it. The Standard Setting Committee will meet July 29th through the 31st to set the new cut scores for I Learn. So the Indiana Department of Education is developing a new data dashboard that will launch in late July to populate our raw data scores and scale scores for I Learn. As we wait for proficiency for the new cut scores, such as our students above proficiency, at proficiency, approaching proficiency, or below proficiency. The dashboard will be updated with the cut scores and proficiency levels once they are approved at the State Board of Education meeting in Indianapolis on Tuesday, August 11th. So that means our I Learn data for these tested areas will be available hopefully for admin in September sometime, is what the state has told us. However, for grades 4 and 6, our science scores are in. They went through this process about 3 years ago. 69% of our fourth graders demonstrated proficiency exceeding the state average of 44%. And 6th grade science proficiency also exceeded the state average, with 51% of the students demonstrating proficiency compared to the state average of 41%. And I put 51%. It was 41%. So our elementary science team will continue reviewing detailed assessment data to identify areas of strength and opportunities for continued improvement as part of our continuous school improvement process. This year, I Learn Biology is also a mandatory I Learn assessment. We had this year a total of 194 students in grades 8, 9, and 10 who participated in the I Learn Biology end of course assessment. Overall, 31% of our students demonstrated proficiency compared to the state average of 46%. Science assessments, including biology, are also now included within Indiana's new accountability model and contribute to the overall school performance designations issued by the IDOE. Science teachers and administrators will continue to analyze student performance data, instructional pacing, and intervention opportunities to strengthen our biology achievement and improve future outcomes for students. And finally, I Learn Government, grade 12. As the new accountability model was just released this spring, we learned the I Learn Government assessment will also become a part of Indiana's school accountability model and will contribute to overall accountability calculations and school letter grades assigned by the IDOE. So this right now is currently an optional assessment, but we did choose kind of at the last minute to go ahead and give this in preparation for future government assessments. We thought it was very important to do. Our current results show 16% proficiency compared to the state average of 24% as of now, but we are not completed. The window closes this Friday. The district will continue supporting social studies instruction to help students build readiness in civics and government concepts essential for college, career, and civic life. Finally, we gave the PSAT 8-9 to all of our freshmen this year in preparation for the PSAT and MSQT that they'll take in October, and then the PSAT they'll take as juniors. This year, we had 23% of our ninth graders met and exceeded both benchmarks in reading and math. 64%, which we were above the state average for reading and writing, and 23% met and exceeded the mathematics portion of the PSAT 8-9. This is great practice for our freshmen as they continue through the SAT suite of assessments. Okay.
Thank you. On to district news. First, I want to give a shout out to the Tiger Boosters. They have spent a lot of time, resources, and investment back into our athletic spaces. You may have seen the softball field, the baseball field out back by the tennis courts and other areas that they have been sort of giving places a facelift. They are now working on the athletic entrance at the junior, senior high school. And so it's exciting to see the change and the updates there. Thank you to the athletic boosters for helping us invest in our spaces and keep them friendly and inviting. The updates are scheduled to be completed for by graduation. So it will be an exciting time to be able to see the new updates and allow the community to see those as well. Again, shout out to the Tiger Boosters for impacting our schools in that way. We had 10 seniors that recently participated in Ivy Tech Community College graduation. This was through opportunities mostly with the Career Center, where they have earned additional credits and certifications that allowed them to graduate with the Ivy Tech certification. 10 students who have graduated Ivy Tech College before they have officially graduated from high school, which is exciting. We'll approve this later in the agenda, but we were awarded a $5,000 Read Health grant to help support our weekend backpack food and community food hut, which is exciting to have those funds. Last week, we celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week. Just want to thank the community, the many organizations and clubs who helped celebrate our teachers and all the hard work, not just last week, but throughout the school year in supporting our students. Recently, one of our food service employees was nominated for the Indiana Department of Education Food Service Employee of the Year, and that was Patricia Fox. In that submission. They stated that Pat is so much more than a member of our food service team. To our students at Hagerstown Elementary, she is affectionately known as Grandma. Whether she's volunteering for the supper program, dressing up for Spirit Days, or even dropping an occasional wrap to make the kids smile, Pat brings a unique joy to our cafeteria every day. And I think it reminds us that, you know, every single person who comes in contact with our students has the ability to make an impact. And she is just another exceptional example of one of those. And that's all I have for district news tonight. Any questions or comments on any of the school district news?
If not, we'll move to board member reports, concerns, and requests for information. Start with Mr. Banning.
I would say I just want to thank the community for all the feedback we've got recently, and teachers who've given their opinions. It's valuable to us to hear from you, and just thanks for all your input and help guiding us forward.
Mike. Mrs. Lamar.
Yeah, I also appreciate, and I know I speak for all of us here, comments from community members, parents, teachers, administrators, for all the work, all the decisions that have had to be made. No one wants to make these decisions. And I can tell you, after the last couple weeks, I'm going to be speaking to my state legislators. I don't know that my comments will make that much difference, but I will be, and I hope a lot of other people are too.
See, Mr. Sankey.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna probably say a lot of the same stuff, but we value, you know, we took it very serious and valued the opinion and the voices of the teachers, families in the community, staff, faculty, the community. You know, we did not take this lightly. You know, we recognize the weight and difficulty of these decisions. You know, Ruthie said it, no one wants to make these decisions. These are the cards that we were dealt. And unfortunately, we have to play a hand that we don't like. You know, it's important to realize that today's financial realities, the state funding challenges, force responsible financial action by us as a board. You know, and throughout it all, our commitment remains steadfast that our number one priority is providing students with the highest quality education possible. And we are not striving to simply meet state average. We are striving to set the bar at this institution, at this corporation, and we want to set the standard for student learning. And that begins with supporting our exceptional educators that we have. Begins by maintaining safe and schools where kids can attend and learn and grow. You know, it ensures also that this district is financially positioned that it not only thrives today, but for future generations. And, you know, because this school is more than just buildings, it's the heartbeat of this community. It's what's going to make this town thrive. And so don't ever doubt or think that we didn't take this serious, because it drove right at our core. And I'll leave it at that.
Cody. Mrs. Howden.
You skipped Julie.
Just going down my list, but we can go to Julie if you'd like.
I'm just going to repeat or read to you the Nettle Creek School Corporation mission. It's dear to my heart. Throughout all this, I've tried not to bring on the tears, but this may be it. We value you. We do. It's been hard on the educators, their families, community members, parents of our teachers. It's been hard on everyone. And we didn't take this lightly. This is the 4th reduction in force process I've been through. And it's not, it hadn't been any easier than the first one several years ago. But this is our mission statement that I take to heart, and I hope you all will too. Nettle Creek Schools will develop successful, responsible, and confident individuals by delivering exemplary instruction and providing educational experiences, utilizing innovative tools and techniques, all within a safe but yet challenging environment. I wish we would read this at every meeting. I do before I come in, just to remind myself why I'm doing this and why all of you are doing this as well. It's for our students, and we want the best for our students.
So,
It's been very rough because I know all of you. And then you've had my children, you've had our children, you were children, so it's like a full circle. But I know all of our hearts are in the right place as we sit up here because we still have children in the school corporation. And I have faith in Mrs. Schaefer. When my first year as a school board member, she was a gym teacher at the high school. He then became the assistant principal at the high school, where she was put on an emergency license and got that. From there, she went to director of learning. Did that. From there, she's superintendent. She has covered every base of this school corporation. She knows what she's doing. It's very hard. It's very hard for everybody. But the most important thing that I think this community can do is support one another. Make those phone calls. Make your voices heard. We hear you. Make everybody else hear you too. We do it. And we're doing it for all of us. Not a single person, but for all of us. And for that, it really sucks being up here. I'm trying to do the very best thing, and I know we all are, and I know Mrs. Schaefer is too. Wish there was an easier outcome. But every time, every day, when I turn on that news, the hour I get before I wake my kids up, every morning there's another school corporation. And another school corporation. And then when I saw IPS has to cut 17 million, I know the largest school corporation in the state of Indiana, something's got to give. Something has to change. I'm sorry. I really am. Our school corporation has the best teachers. You know it. Best administrators that truly care. We will do our very best. And you're doing a great job, Mrs. Schaefer.
Well, I want to start out with today was a wonderful day. I had the opportunity to be at field day from about 8:45 until, I don't know, 2:45-ish, something like that, with fifth grade in the morning and a kindergartner in the afternoon. And you could just tell the joy from the entire day. See, I'm right there with you. I don't know what this emotion stuff is, but it was a great day. And watching the kids participating and working together. Of course, every time, the favorite has always been tug of war. I love tug of war. And that was great fun. And I think it's the competition maybe that comes part of that makes it, elevated, but it was a lot of fun. Anyway, our district finances for us to continue and to sustain things like field day, we have to do this. We have to right size. And I'm emotional because it's personal. It's personal to me. And I feel like we already are an education destination. We already have students from all around the area who's choosing us. Their families are choosing us. And we can continue to do that if we focus on what's important. And that's student learning, student outcome, I feel that for us to do that, we have to continue to retain and attract the best educators available. But we still have to do it within the financial world that we're currently living in. And our state legislators know my name because they hear from me on a regular basis. I'm emailing, I'm calling. I have approached them before, but I always feel like they don't remember who I am. So apparently I'm not approaching them enough. So the more we all do that collectively and let them hear our voices and help them understand how important this is, that we continue to provide the very best education experience that we can, then the more power that we have. So it's going to take all of us to make that happen. We've listened to the feedback. I've gone back and I actually rewatched the video or the recording to make sure I hadn't missed something. We've listened to that. We've looked at countless data. I know I'm much smarter right now than I have been in the prior. I'm in my 6th year, I think. Yeah, I'm in my 6th year. I'm much smarter today than I've been when it comes to school finance. And it's important that we are doing the very best we can so that we can continue to be here. We can continue to provide an excellent education to our children. You know, I benefited from being here. You know, I graduated in 1980. I benefited, and my children have benefited, and now my grandchildren are here and they're going to benefit as well. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that this continues and that we're able to be successful, and we're going to get it right and do things that we probably should have been doing for a while. And I see this as a positive, honestly, that we're being forced to really look at where we spend money and what we do and how we do it. And, you know, I want to make sure that when the landscape changes, we can respond to it in an appropriate way, but that we're already prepared, that we've built that buffer. When I worked for the bank, you know, Jamie Dimon has a way of putting things into perspective, and that you protect yourself from whatever is happening that's out of your control. And we've got to prepare and do the things that protect us. So when things happen that are out of our control, we can move forward and continue to do the right things. Again, there's students and families that are choosing us, and I want you to keep that in mind. We can continue to be excellent, more excellent than we already are today. And I think we can become that destination for education, and that will help us to grow as well. And you can tell I'm passionate about this. The tears are real because that's how we feel, or how I feel.
Can I add on to that about field day? It was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
It was great, but I was very disappointed in a teacher. He would not dance. And I tried. I kept trying, and he kept having excuse after excuse. So
and a green hat. I saw a lot of.
I did not say no names.
Jump rope with Mrs. Tate.
Yeah, he pulled it.
Oh, I saw that.
Muscle in his back. That's why. Kidding. Excuses.
Marcy, you're just lucky I couldn't get my phone out fast enough.
Oh, God, I did, Dan. Wow. I had to go home and take a nap.
I'm pretty sure the jump rope was on Facebook.
Well, of you getting hurt.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Good.
I got it all out. I
Marcy,
feel good.
All right. Well, the downside of going last in a group like this is they've said it all. I couldn't have said it better myself. And to be honest, I've thought for the past 3 weeks, in addition to thinking about how do we fix these financial problems, I've thought about how do I communicate this. The realization I came to is there really is nothing I can say to comfort you guys. I know we can say our job is hard. It is, but yours is too. And I know how hard it is to not know and to wait for that information, which unfortunately we can't share a whole lot yet. But we'll provide some timelines of when we will be, and hopefully give you some closure here soon. Beyond that, really the only thing I'm going to share is a Facebook post I saw this morning. You'll hear it and think it's cliche. It's fine. It kind of is. I read this first sentence. It says, although society sometimes says otherwise, numbers don't define our children. And I read it and I thought, oh, great, here comes a post, towards the board. It's, going to be one of those controversial things. They don't have the information, blah, blah, blah. But I kept reading. It says, whether it's a test score, the dollar amount on a dress, or a stopwatch on the track, defining moments usually come when you're down, not at the top. Tonight, while literal steps away from her second consecutive conference championship in the 100-meter hurdles, a small misstep pushed Claire from first to last. In that heartbreaking moment, she picked herself up off the track and finished the race. This was her first race of 4, so she pulled it together, bloody and sore, and battled. The video, shown below, shows her true grit and determination by becoming the TEC champion in the 300-meter hurdles. We're so proud of you, Claire Bone. Now, it's fitting, right? I mean, like I said, it's cliche. I could have seeked that out and made it fit to our circumstance, which I don't even need to explain how it fits, right? Hurdles, winning races, bouncing back. But the reason this is meaningful to me is I believe if we keep our eyes and ears open, couldn't have looked at my mom.
Please just sit this way a little bit more.
If we leave our eyes and ears open, messages come to us. Yeah. And this Facebook post was the very first Facebook post on my feed as I opened my phone this morning. And it's not coincidence. I mean, this was speaking to me. And I hope it speaks to you too, and you're able to convey that to your coworkers. Yeah, we've got a hurdle here. It's going to knock us down. You'll see the results of that, but we're going to bounce back. I have no doubts this school as a corporation will be just fine in the end, and probably even stronger, and win the next race. Okay. And my hope and my prayer is for those individuals that are going to be impacted, which there are. Whatever percentage of our finances comes from people. So it's inevitable. My hope and prayer for them is they use this as a hurdle too, or they get knocked down and look back 5-10 years from now and realize that was devastating at the time, but it's led me to a door that I'm thankful I've found. And that's the only thing that can give me comfort, is that is reality. So, with that, I'll leave it at that. As these guys said, we're putting everybody first and foremost, along with the students, along with the longevity of the school, and all of those goals don't completely align in all cases, so there has to be concessions made. That's all I have to say. I think at this time, we have no official old business topics, but we will continue this on. I think I'll turn it over to Ms. Schaefer now to just kind of give the timeline of how it's going to go from here.
Yeah, I think obviously the decision that is making everyone uncomfortable right now is what is the employee impact? And so at this point, the board and I feel like we are, ready to start communicating those specific decisions to those employees impacted within the next week. That information will not be made public by administrators and school board members until the legal timeline has passed. That timeline requires at least 10 days, but dependent on those employee actions or those employees who are impacted in their actions could prolong longer. So as soon as that legal timeline has passed, we anticipate having a special board meeting between the end of that timeline and our regular June meeting to finalize those decisions. That is when administration and school board members will have the ability to comment on the number of positions and the details of the impact. But it will not be before then. It will be communicated by administration and myself, though, within the next week to those employees who these decisions are going to impact.
Anything else on the topic before we move on? All right, thank you all for your comments. We will move on in the agenda to personnel items presented for board consideration and action. Mrs. Schaefer.
Personnel items, there are 2 non-certified positions, 3 summer school positions, 3 ECA volunteers, 2 resignations, and 1 termination. There was also a transfer of position on the other item tab in your personnel folder. That does not need board action because it is an internal transfer and someone who is qualified. Mrs. Stephanie Radway is moving into our interventionist position and leaving her first grade teaching position. I would ask that you approve the personnel report as provided.
So moved.
Second.
Mike. Any discussion?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Even though he's a volunteer, do I still abstain from voting?
We can pull him out separate if you'd like. So we're done with others.
To abstain.
All right, so we will, at the request of Mrs. Houghton, we will pull Cody Houghton out of this first group of approvals so that she can abstain from his motion. So I have a motion from Cody, second from Mike. That will be for all listed aside from Cody Houghton. Anything else? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. I'll take the same motions in a second for Cody since they were all the same. Clean that up later. All those in favor?
I think you need a second. Did we get a second on that?
Yeah, it was mine.
Mike,
Oh, okay, thank you.
Cody, Mike. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Yeah, 6-0 and 1 abstain. Other items for board consideration. First, we have recommendation approval of partnership program academic exchange.
PACS provides global education and exchange opportunities for students, host families, schools, and communities to open doors, embrace cultures, and become family. The PACS organization is an is approved on the Indiana State Exchange Program list. With this motion, the board would be approving enrollment of foreign exchange students to Nettle Creek schools only. The oversight of the program operations would be the responsibility of the PACS program and their local community coordinators. We do have one local community coordinator that I am aware of, and that is Mrs. Erin Owens, our corporation librarian. I would ask that you approve this recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Julie? Any discussion?
I just wanted to add that I love exchange programs. I had the opportunity to be involved, not as an exchange student, but we've had exchange students in our home, and had a very good friend who was an exchange student. I still have a relationship with her all the way in Australia. And then I still have 2 sons in Argentina. So it's just a really great opportunity for our students to get that exposure. And I know your household has dealt, many, many times with exchange programs. So anyway, so I'm excited that
Yeah,
this looks like an opportunity for us.
Anything else? Not move to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. We have recommendation and approval of the HES admin assistant contract revision. Mrs. Schaefer.
This recommendation is to adjust the elementary school administrative assistant contractual days from 220 to 205 per contract year. With many duties now occurring online rather than in person, the additional contractual days are not needed. I would recommend that you approve this change to contractual days for the elementary administrative assistant position.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mike,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next, we have recommendation and approval of the following community donations.
We had a few more donations come in memory of Chris Beeson to the Hagerstown Junior Senior High School athletic department. Those were totaling $235. We also had Hagerstown Hometown Fund was a grant for $5,000 that was specifically for preschool, Discovery Preschool in its early childhood literacy initiatives. And then the Reed Health grant for food for our community hut and weekend backpacks in the amount of $5,000. I would ask that you approve those as presented.
Second.
And Cody. Any discussion?
Just an added comment that we are so appreciative of donations.
Yeah.
And the people, thinking of us and also in memory of Chris Beeson, because, he did a tremendous school and athletics particularly. And I don't know, I saw him in that black and white shirt really long, that scorebook. So, so we really appreciate that.
Agreed. Anything else? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 0. We are tabling item D. Next meeting. On item D, we have second reading and approval of the Nettle Creek School Corporation of books, certified staff handbook, and the support staff handbook. Mrs. Schaefer.
The district has operated without centralized formal articulated employee handbooks. While core expectations have been understood, the lack of a singular reference document can lead to inconsistencies in communication and application. The primary goal of these handbooks is to provide our team with a reliable roadmap for their professional life within the district. By articulating these expectations in a formal document, we ensure that every employee, regardless of their role, has access to the same information. I would ask that you approve the handbooks as presented, and they will go into effect July 1 of 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Is that Julie or Mercy?
Mhm.
Julie?
Yes.
Julie and Cody? Any discussion?
Just a minor thing, as I was reading through these, I did come across a few typographical errors. for the most part, I was trying to focus on the content of the material, not so much the typos, but there are a few. I'll go back through and try to find those. They're nothing major and they didn't change the meaning of anything, but there was just a few typos in there. So I'll try
Thank you. We
to
will
through
get that.
in the next, well, before the next board meeting anyway, I'll try to get through those.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next is item F, second reading and approval of the Nettle Creek employee job descriptions, including executive admin assistant, HES principal, HJS HS principal, athletic director, director of technology, director of operations, HJS HS assistant principal, guidance counselor. These are all for junior, senior high school, administrative assistant, assistant principal. Some listed multiple times here.
Yeah.
Athletic admin assistant, media specialist, and finally, technology, information technology support assistant. Mrs. Schaefer.
Yep, our employee job descriptions have not been updated since 2016. We are working through these with each employee to update the job description so that it more accurately reflects their job duties and responsibilities. Clearly, we are doing them in sets. This is not our own list of job descriptions, but like we do our board policies, doing them a few at a time. So we have the time to look over those and really review those. So this is our first batch of updated job descriptions that I would ask you to approve as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mike,
Second.
Sandy? Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
Unless I'm overlooking it, I don't see the HES assistant principal.
It's not on this one. Yes, thank you for that, Ruthie. It will come in the next batch.
Thank you.
Anything else? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Item G, recommendation and approval of the participation agreement for the East Central Indiana Natural Gas Cooperative. Mrs. Schaefer.
In an effort to procure natural gas in a more economical and efficient manner, I'm recommending that we join the East Central Indiana Natural Gas Cooperative. In a recent savings analysis comparing our 24, 25, and 26 year-to-date natural gas costs versus the consortium cost, the net savings would have been $55,308 over a 3-year period of time. In February, our unit price tripled. Moving forward with the consortium will allow us some potential savings, but more importantly, a better system for appropriating funds each budget. I would ask that you approve this agreement as presented.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Julie?
Julie.
Any discussion? Not all those in favor say aye. Opposed? 7-0. Next, we have the first reading of several board policy updates. They are listed in your packet. Please review those and provide comment for next meeting.
I do have, just after seeing the news today on the wireless communication device, that's gonna be really difficult. I had seen that there was some grants out there, to maybe try to help us with implementing whatever we're gonna do with the phones.
Yeah.
We would take more information on grants.
Marcy. Moving on to item I, recommendation and approval of the renewal contract with Chartwell's Food Service.
The original contract states that management and administrative fees shall be adjusted on the first day of each renewal term. Our original contract date was July 1 of 2022, and this is our fourth renewal of 4. The contract renewal process of the, proposes the following at a 4% increase for the 26-27 school year. The current management fee will increase from 0.0870 to 0.0905. I would ask that you approve this contract renewal as presented.
So moved. Marcy.
Marcy, thank you, Mark D. I have a second.
Second.
Woody? Any discussion?
So I really just have a question, and it's more of a point of clarity because the question has been asked and answered at the last work session. But can you remind us again, because I know that this does not come out of education, nor does it come out of operations. Can you remind us again on how it is funded separately? Kind of like our preschool is self-sustaining. Do you have, and I know I'm winging that at you without giving you a heads up, but can you clarify a little bit of that?
Yeah, so it is its own separate fund line item. And the revenue comes from federal reimbursement for school lunch. It comes from breakfast reimbursement, catering, which is kind of a wash. That would be like if I asked Chartwells to provide breakfast at our back to school meeting for teachers. They charge me what the cost is and I would pay that out of corporation dollars. Their summer meal program reimbursement, adult sales, and school lunch state match, we receive just a very little bit on. So those are the revenue sources that go into that lunch fund. Also, obviously, student payment that pays for.
Their portion.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Just wanted to add that clarity since that was a question that had come up previously and you answered it, but I thought wouldn't, but not really sharing. Well, where does it come from? How is it self-sustaining? So,
and then those on the opposite side, those expenditures, for example, salary, Chartwells bills us itemized what it cost us for the salary or professional development services or professional services, supplies for the lunch cafeteria and things like that all come out of those expenditures on the same fund.
that line item. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Question? Anything else? To vote, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 0.
I do have one question for Mr. Meek, if that's okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Meek. When it comes to the first reading on the wireless communication device, are you guys involved in implementing board policies on the phone? Because you as teachers, it's gonna come down to you guys. And I know how hard trying to get kids to put their phones up. Are you part of this? Are you part of this, writing this, the policies, the bills, what you guys are gonna do? We can sit up here, Ms. Schaefer can sit up here, he can sit there, she can sit there, but we're not the ones in the classroom saying, put the phone up, give me the phone. We're not gonna be the ones that are yelling that you can't touch my phone. So I've just been watching a lot of it on news. I've seen positive, hey, our kids are socializing again, the phones are, they're not texting, they're not staring at it. But then I've also heard backlash, you know, how hard it is on teachers because phones are teenager lives. So I want you to know that we will support you, but I really feel that teachers, administrators from the buildings need to really be involved in that policy.
I think there's a couple aspects of it. So there's what the state dictates, right? And our policies align to that. And so I think that's the purpose of the policy, is to make sure we as a school are aligning to the mandates that are put in place at the state level or anything else.
Like,
when it comes to implementation, that's outside the scope of the policy itself. That's going to be something that's in the handbook or local rules, you know, the school's guidelines, and that would be under their control. So that's kind of the separation.
Okay, is that, I want to make sure that we're like clear for every single classroom. if one classroom is having them on the door, that way there's not parents saying, well, this teacher did this teacher did that. I'm just trying to think, Facebook. So,
So, go ahead.
We've had some discussion on it. Upon casting out a little bit. I don't know if we have all the details hammered out exactly, but we have a plan in place. It's like anything that we try to implement in classroom by classroom. It's going to come to teacher buy-in on it. I would hope that, people see not that they can't be a useful device, but the negative is way outweigh the positive when it comes to those things. Whether it become, kids taking pictures of other kids, or kids filming other kids, or kids looking up answers all the time. So, we've talked about the idea that it's, phones and smartwatches and everything, and trying to make sure that the kids go back to asking questions and learning things rather than trying to find the easiest way around it. The enforcement at the start of the year absolutely is going to be a big challenge for all of us.
we're here. So, you're the ones in the classroom, so I just want to make sure that you guys know that you are very supported on this, because I know it's going to be very hard. Sorry,
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. Anything else before we close? That does conclude our agenda. Items of information. Our next currently scheduled meeting is June 10th here in the LGI room at 6:30. As mentioned, we will have a special board meeting before then at a date to be determined. With that, we are adjourned at 7:36.